experiences that we all had together in 1964 to 67, and then all of a sudden in 68, I was in Berkeley, California, and deeply involved in politics, and all that was the 60s and late 60s, you know, was right there. I don't think I developed some of the things that I do well at the time. I mean, I think I was beginning to develop some things. I don't think I had the self-confidence in high school years that I think I developed soon after high school and have had since. I don't think I had enough fun. I remember fondly, and I want to take this opportunity to commend Billy Barnes, who I think was one of the great teachers of all time.
What do you think is complicated in your life today?
Marriage, career, being a mother. I mean, trying to balance all three gets a little complicated.
How about teachers? Any one teacher come to your mind?
I just know that I had to get out of geometry with Mr. Siegler. He was the one that they called the Penguin. I mean, that course almost did me in.
What do you think was complicated about life back then?
The complicated part of it was, I guess, finding out who you were and what you're going to do. Finding your place within all the other people at the school. And some people seemed to know that, and I didn't. I wasn't sure I knew exactly where I fit into the picture. And probably a lot of people felt that way. So I thought I knew pretty much what I was going to do every day when I went to school, and the path was there to follow along back at the time. But socially, learning the social skills and fitting in socially probably was the most complicated part, at least for me.
Imagine me and you, I do. I think about you day and night. It's only right to think about the girl you love and hold her tight. So happy together. If I should call you up, invest a dime, and you say you belong to me, ease my mind. Imagine how the world could be so very fine, so happy together. No matter how they toss the dice, it had to be. The only one for me is you, and you for me, so happy together. I can't see me loving nobody but you for all my life. When you're with me, baby, the skies will be blue for all my life.
And the high school experience for me was lots and lots of fun, but at the same time it's a difficult time in everybody's life because they're agonizing over who they're going to become and what kind of choices they're going to have to make. I think high school kids are under a heck of a lot of pressure to really excel and not miss the boat, and I think you constantly have that same kind of thing on you throughout your life.
I think of fun, I guess, is one of the words that comes to mind. I think of athletic events, pep rallies, friendships. Studying a little bit wasn't terribly difficult. I think we led a very charmed life. We were very naive, but we had a hell of a good time.
This is kind of an ink blot test, as you were. I'm just going to mention a few words, okay, quick ones, and then you just tell me what comes to your mind immediately. Olin Garrison.
I didn't know him very well.
I remember him being very good looking.
Cute.
Olin Garrison was our best defensive player.
I have no recollection of this man.
Well, he was a coach, wasn't he? Not so good looking.
Maxine Kamak.
She's a pretty tough woman, I'll tell you.
Very tough lady.
I think Maxine Kamak would be an excellent baseball coach.
But I thought she was funny and sarcastic, and I really tuned into her some. I liked that.
She was a different personality.
Tell me a little bit about the Garland-Hillcrest game in 1967.
The Garland-Hillcrest game in 1967. You're probably referring to the fact that that was a rainy week and the sidelines were destroyed because of the rain, and they put sand down on the sidelines. And our illustrious quarterback threw an interception, and this outstanding linebacker came running down the sidelines, and obviously
What happened then?
I had a look on my face of aggressive, and I guess he felt like that if he could run over me, he probably would intimidate the rest of the football team. And then from that point on, the story was that I actually tried to slap the ball out of his hand or something like that. So I'm sure from that time on it was blown out of proportion by somebody like you. Or
What, do you want to know the real story?
the real story, I just gave you the real story.
The real story was when he was running down the sideline, you gave him a quick left elbow in the side of his side there, and the ball popped up. And the only
It's
word...
a pretty graphic description
The
after
only-
20 years that you
the only
can maintain all of that to that point.
The only words that were ever spoken were from Wendell Shelton, and he went, Olin, Olin, Olin.
Well,
And
that
the
was
next
probably
thing I-
about the best vocabulary he could come up with, and Wendell was always a little limited in his vocabulary.
And the next thing I knew, I saw you sitting on the bench with your head in your hands. Just, do you remember that?
I'm surprised that that someone didn't jump on the fumble quicker. That was the main thing.
When I started teaching, I had not had practice teaching, so I did not know what kids were supposed to do, and I discovered very early that they would get me if I didn't get them.
Obviously, one of the reasons you're here is because so many people do have vivid memories of you in your classes, which I think is a compliment to you. The other teacher that came to mind most often was Judy Jeffress, and as we all know, she can't be here. If you could talk a little about what made Judy special as a person to you or as a teacher, what you saw in her qualities as a teacher, we'd like to hear it from your point of view.
I guess Judy was so special to you and to me too is because she cared about others. I always tried to be, I wanted to be that way, but I just didn't quite have the knack to be as caring as Judy was. I think that was the secret. Certainly she knew her subject, but that wasn't all of it. She just was very sincere and caring.
I mean, Hillcrest was a very easy world. You had a given set of circumstances and parameters of what you could do or not do and what you could get into or not get into, and you kind of, did your own thing where you were leading, where your friends were going, and what you felt like doing. I thought it was pretty easy. The decisions were fairly easy. There weren't too many risks. Very different from real life.
Very tender spot in my heart. I'll have to say that probably personally, as a high school athlete, that was kind of the height of my athletic career. I had a great time. I was fortunate enough to receive some recognition and to get to go to school on a scholarship. College football was a lot more of a job, not near the fun that high school athletics was, and so I'd have to say that was real special for me.
send a little girl for me to thrill. A girl who wants my kisses and my arms, a girl with all the charms of you. Venus, make her fair, a lovely girl with sunlight in her hair, and take the brightest stars up in the skies and place them in her eyes for me. Venus, goddess of love that you are, surely the things I ask can't be too great a task. Venus, if you do, I promise that I always will be true. I'll give her all the love I have to give, as long as we both shall live. Venus, goddess of love that you are, surely the things I ask can't be too great a task. Venus, if you do, I promise that I always will be true. I'll give her all the love I have to give, as long as we both shall live. Some girls love to run around, love to handle everything they see. But my girl has more fun around, and you know she'd rather be with me. Me, oh my, lucky guy is what I am. Tell you why, you'll understand. She don't lie, although she can. Some boys love to run around, they don't think about the things they do. But this boy wants to settle down, and you know he'd rather be with you. Me, oh my, lucky guy is what I am. Tell you why, you'll understand. She don't lie, although she can. Some girls love to run around, love to handle everything they see. But my girl has more fun around, and you know she'd rather be with, yeah, she'd rather be with, you know she'd rather be with me. Turn me loose, I say. This is the first time I ever felt this way. Gonna get 1,000 kicks or kiss 1,000 chicks. So turn me loose. Turn me loose. Turn me loose, I say. Gonna rock and roll long as the band's gonna play. Gonna holler, gonna shout, gonna knock myself right out. So turn me loose, turn me loose. I got some change in my pocket and I'm raring to go. Taking some chick to the picture show. And when I see her home and we kiss goodnight, turn me loose, turn me loose, turn me always love you so. Why? Because you love me. No broken hearts for us, 'cause we love each other. And with our faith and trust, there could be no other. Why? 'Cause I love you. Why? 'Cause you love me. I think you're awfully sweet. Why? Because I love you. You say I'm your special treat. Why? Because you love me. We found the perfect love. Yes, a love that's yours and mine. I love you and you love me all the time.
I'll never let you go. Why? Because I love you.
Yes, I love you.
I'll always love you so. Why? Because you love me.
Yes, you love me. We found the perfect love. Yes, a love that's yours and mine. I love you and you love me. I love you and you love me. We'll love each other, dear, forever.
Say nighty-night and kiss me. Just hold me tight and tell me you'll miss me while I'm alone and blue as can be. Dream a little dream of me. Stars fading, but I linger on, dear, still craving your kiss. I'm longing to linger till dawn, dear, just saying this. Sweet dreams till sunbeams find you. Sweet dreams that leave all worries behind you. But